Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semoga keberkahan dan kesejahteraan untuk kita semua. Perkenalkan, saya Dr. Patria Handung Jaya SPDMA, salah satu dosen program studi S1 Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasar, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Samadahlan. Pada kesempatan kali ini, saya ingin menunjukkan mata kuliah yang saya ampu, yaitu Teaching English for Young Learners. Video ini dibuat guna memenuhi salah satu syarat sertifikasi dosen terkait pernyataan diri dosen dalam unjuk kerja Tridharma Perguruan Tinggi atau PDD UKT-PT, khususnya pada bidang pengajaran. Saya akan memulai untuk menjelaskan deskripsi dan informasi umum dari mata kuliah ini. Mata kuliah Teaching English for Young Learners memiliki bobot 2 SKS teori dan diambil oleh mahasiswa yang telah sampai pada semester 5 di Prodi PGSD. Bahasa pengantar yang digunakan adalah 70% bahasa Inggris dan 30% bahasa Indonesia. Mata kuliah ini bertujuan untuk memperkenalkan mahasiswa pada teori dan konsep dasar terkait dengan pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak, yang di dalamnya mencakup isu terkait karakteristik anak, proses pemerolehan bahasa anak, serta pendekatan, metode, dan strategi pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak. Selain itu, mahasiswa juga berlatih mengembangkan rencana pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak beserta perangkat capaian pembelajarannya. Mata kuliah ini mencakup penguasaan dan penerapan konsep kurikulum, pendekatan, model, strategi, metode, teknik bahan ajar, media, sumber belajar, dan evaluasi pembelajaran yang inovatif dan futuristik sebagai guru sekolah dasar. Proses pembelajaran dilaksanakan secara aktif, kolaboratif, dan berpusat pada mahasiswa. Selain memperoleh penjelasan materi dari dosen, mahasiswa akan terlibat dalam diskusi, praktik speaking, listening, reading, dan writing, serta menghasilkan perangkat pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak. Dengan demikian, mahasiswa tidak hanya memahami teori, tetapi juga memiliki pengalaman langsung dalam menerapkan keterampilan pengajaran bahasa Inggris yang kelak nantinya dibutuhkan sebagai calon guru sekolah dasar. Evaluasi pembelajaran dilakukan secara berkelanjutan melalui berbagai bentuk assessment, meliputi tes speaking, praktik storytelling, pembuatan perangkat pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak, dan membuat video pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak. Penilaian diarahkan untuk mengukur ketercapaian kompetensi mahasiswa secara komprehensif, baik dari aspek pengetahuan maupun keterampilan. Demikian pengenalan singkat mengenai mata kuliah Teaching English for Young Learners. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat menyaksikan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, everyone, let's start our class today by saying Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, how are you this morning, everyone? Right, alhamdulillah. So excited, yeah? Yeah. Have you got your breakfast this morning, by the way? Not yet. Okay, but it's okay. As long as you have English class, everything is gonna be okay. Yeah. Course, right? So thank you so much for being here in this meeting. So welcome back to Teaching English for Young Learners class. And then before going further, do you guys still remember what we discussed last week? Kita minggu lalu sudah bahas apa, teman-teman? Ini ketahuan belajar tadi malam ya. Memang so diligent. Exactly. So last week we have talked about, how to end the lesson as well as on how to do something in a spontaneous situation, right? Jadi discussion related to classroom English, especially how to open the class, how to, take anything inside the classroom until how to end the class have been discussed, right? Jadi untuk materi as a teacher, how you communicate with students sudah kita bahas di 4 pertemuan terakhir. So this meeting, we're gonna, strengthen, empower more, especially about the basic needs of a language, which is called vocabularies. Ya, vocabularies adalah kosakata yang sebenarnya tidak hanya dalam bahasa Inggris ya, but this is gonna be very necessary for you guys to learn, especially because you're gonna be a teacher, teaching English to your students, mengajar bahasa Inggris ke anak-anak, sehingga penguatan kosakata bagi Anda dan juga bagi siswa terutama itu sangat penting. Sebelum mengajarkan ke siswa, of course, you as a teacher needs to master vocabularies as well. Ya. Dan ini adalah nanti ada beberapa materi terkait dengan pembelajaran vocabularies. Goalnya ada beberapa macam ya teman-teman ya, terkait dengan basic principles. Sebenarnya kenapa sih belajar vocab khususnya untuk anak-anak itu penting banget. Sampai nanti ada beberapa media dan juga some technology
that could be used in teaching vocabularies. Karena, as someone, you are in Gen Z, right? But you're gonna teach Alpha generation yang mungkin akan sedikit berbeda dari Anda. Sama halnya saya sebagai milenial, mengajar Anda sebagai Gen Z juga, probably the media would be quite different. Okay? Nah, pertama, teman-teman, kenapa sih? Why is it important to learn vocabularies? In your opinion, menurut teman-teman, kenapa sih belajar vocab itu penting in learning a language? Kenapa? Kenapa kira-kira? Karena vocab merupakan dasar, exactly, is the basic. No matter what we do in any kinds of skills, whether it is speaking, writing, listening, or reading, we will need vocabularies. Karena tanpa kosakata, tidak ada yang bisa kita produksi dan tidak ada yang bisa kita terima. Bahkan di sini beberapa pakar itu ya menyampaikan hal-hal penting bahwa vocab ini adalah the most important thing. Ya, menurut Cameron di tahun 2001, jadi Cameron ini adalah salah satu orang yang memprakarsai pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk anak-anak ya. Dia mengatakan bahwa words are building blocks language learning. Jadi dia kayak blok-blok. Ketika bloknya itu semakin banyak, it will be strong, gitu kan. Dan sementara tanpa grammar itu sedikit yang bisa kita pahami, tapi kalau tanpa vocabularies itu tidak ada yang bisa kita pahami. Sehingga memang di sini it is shown to you guys that all of the experts says vocabularies will be one of the most effective tools in learning languages. Itulah kenapa nanti ketika teman-teman menjadi guru, khususnya mengajar bahasa Inggris, fondasi awal yang harus diajarkan adalah vocabularies, gitu ya. So now you know why it is very necessary to learn about vocabularies. Next, the second one is the principles. Nah, jadi kalau tadi sudah tahu bahwa vocab itu adalah basic, gitu kan, dasarnya. Lalu apa nih prinsip-prinsip yang harus digunakan? Ada 5 teman-teman, but I'm gonna say there are some of the most important things. Yang pertama di sini adalah use of context. So, konteks itu seperti apa maksudnya? Konteks itu adalah sebuah maksud, bisa apalagi situasi. So, when you would like to learn languages, pastikan bahwa konteksnya jelas. Misalnya nih, dalam meeting ini, we're gonna talk about vocabularies inside the classroom. Ya kan? Jadi nanti terbatas bahwa, di meeting ini, Bu Guru akan mengajarkan vocab inside the classroom. Ada apa saja misalnya? Inside the classroom, what we can find? Dalam ruang kelas ada apa aja? Students, what else? Book. Table. Chairs, what else? What else? Nah, jadi sesuai dengan konteks. Jangan misalnya inside the classroom, nanti teman-teman bilangnya ada chicken, ya, fish, water. Jadi kayak di pasar apa di ruang kelas kan gitu, ya kan? So based on the context. Second adalah repetition and recycling. Jadi diulang-ulang, di drill, gitu loh. Kalau menurut teman-teman semua nih, sudah berapa banyak vocab sih yang Anda sudah paham, yang sudah hafalkan dalam bahasa Inggris? Inside the classroom, for example, are you guys sure that you have, understood all of the vocab inside the classroom? What is this? What is this? What is this? S, C, screen. Yeah. What is this? Remote, exactly. Right. So repeat over and over again, and active use. So someone is known as understanding vocabularies, not only when they know the meaning. Like say for example, this is a whiteboard, this is a remote control, but how to use that, or at least penggunaannya di mana sih, gitu. Ya, jadi repeating, drilling itu very effective. And then next, approach-nya. What is approach? Approach, exactly, pendekatan. Kita sudah tahu basicnya. Prinsipalnya adalah tadi ada konteks, kemudian repeat, ya, kemudian active use. However, you have to know that everyone is different, right? Bahwa setiap anak itu unique. Like you guys, for example, gitu kan. Not everyone enjoy learning English by using this or that, but sometimes they have to use different approach. And this is what we need to know as a teacher. Ada beberapa macam approach teman-teman ya. Ini di sini ada 3 at least. Yang pertama adalah communicative language teaching, CLT namanya. Kemudian task-based learning language teaching, dan juga natural approaches. Apa di sini intinya adalah bahwa make sure everyone in the classroom can experience the learning process. Ya, diminta untuk praktik, diajak ngobrol gitu kan. Memang bisa terkadang kita menulis vocabnya apa, tetapi ketika tidak pernah kita ajak komunikasi 2 arah, itu kemungkinan mereka akan paham juga sangat sedikit. Ya. Kemudian beberapa metodenya di sini adalah ini salah satu metode yang zaman dulu banget ya, zaman saya masih kuliah dulu gitu, adalah ini biasanya grammar translation method GTM. Jadi ada teks atau ada misalnya papan tulis sama dengan bahasa Inggrisnya apa, whiteboard. Tadi ada misalnya meja sama dengan table. Itu zaman dulu ya, zaman saya masih muda ya. Sekarang masih muda sebenarnya ya. Gitu. Jadi GTM. Terus kemudian yang sekarang yang masih sering dipakai adalah ini audio lingual method ya, menggunakan audio, dan kemudian yang paling sering adalah namanya TPR metodenya. Total Physical Response. Have you ever heard? Dari semua ini mana yang pernah Anda dengar? Atau dengar semua hari ini? Okay, I know, right? So this one is the most common one, total physical response, because usually, TPR is a method where you guys use all of what you have in your body to show the students the object, and then you mention that in English. Say for example, when you say nose, then you show which one is nose. And then when you say hat, you show them which one is hat. For example, this is my hat, these are my shoulders, and then this is my nose. So by pointing part of our body or showing the object, like for example, this is whiteboard, it's also a total physical response, right, on how you show them the object so that they could directly understand. Jadi nggak cuma bilang, this is my hat, yang mana nih yang hat nih, kan gitu. Right, so this is my nose, which one is nose? By using that, some research, some studies have shown that it's actually effective karena ada experience di sana. It's communicative, of course, and it is based on the context. Ya, show me the chairs. Coba tunjukkan ke saya mana kursi. Nah, kemudian siswanya mungkin gebrak-gebrak kursinya atau megang mejanya dan lain sebagainya, gitu ya. Oke, kemudian kira-kira mana nih teknik yang bisa digunakan gitu? Tadi ada approach, ada method, dan ada juga teknik nih di sini nih kan. Ada TPR, pakai games. Anyone loves to play games? Ya, oke. Pakai games is okay because berapa lama sih biasanya fokus siswa itu untuk mendengarkan materi? 15 menit itu udah bagus banget ya. Biasanya only like 10 minutes. Right, 10 minutes. When you keep talking, they will just like lose whenever they want, ya. Entah lari ke sana, entah lari ke sini. So that will be necessary for you guys to have a lot of games, gitu, ya kan? Ada yang pernah mungkin main games dalam bahasa Inggris yang kaitannya dengan vocab? What is it? Words of, is it WOW? Yes, I also played that. That's all playing vocabularies. What about you? Simon Says, also vocabulary is good. Any other? Any other? How do you guys improve your vocabularies usually? Kalau tadi bisa langsung diperhatikan ya itu ya di kelas itu yang word of wonder, I think. Yeah, and then also Simon Says can be implemented inside the classroom. Ada lagi misalnya you sing a song together, right? Anyone loves to sing a song? Yeah, okay, so it can be used as well to teach vocabularies. Or writing and worksheet techniques, but you have to know the level of the students because the writing level would be different between one student and another, especially when they have different grades, like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, until grade 6. How old were you when you first got your English lesson? Kelas berapa dapat bahasa Inggris? 4, 5. Any other? First grade. Oh, that's good. Lucky you, because some people, they do not really have English in elementary school. I have one student that they only use English when they are in university level. Okay, next, the learning media. This one we have puppets or dolls. We also have picture, right? Because children love picture, they love colors. It can be used as well. and then book and the other digital media such as this one. You know these games? Yeah, Kahoot, Quizzes. Which one that you use commonly? Quizzes, nice. Kahoot, no? Word Wall. Okay, this one. But are they all free, guys? Or it has to be a premium one? No, not really. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. And then we have digital tools, creativity, AR, VR, and then the method of the teaching, like this one. The technology is important as well because right now children cannot only use, lecture activities. So we need to make sure, some full color and media, but it doesn't have to be, how to say that, electricity based. I mean, like sometimes we will teach in some elementary schools which do not have the technology, right? So we have to be creative. Like say, for example, when you play Words of Wonder, you can create the media by using papers, right? Scissors and anything. So being creative as a teacher is a must to overcome the obstacles when something is wrong with the technology. All right? Okay. And then next is about after the implementation, this one is the explanation, like we have AR, VR, augmented reality, and then, this is some of the activities that we can use as well to practice teaching vocabularies. But most importantly is that engage the student with the learning process. Because if it is only lecturing activities, buku is book, and then kursi is chair. Sometimes it's effective, but if you keep doing that, it would be quite boring for some students, right? So knowing the character of your student would be really important. Okay, now I want you to practice actually, right? Because, I don't want you to also only listen to me, but you have to practice in using the language, in practicing some games probably. Who knows that your friend would be inspired. Siapa tahu temannya nanti terinspirasi dari games yang pernah dipakai kan gitu. But before that, let me hear some questions from you guys. Do you guys have any question? Okay. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, you first.
There are things we should avoid when teaching vocabulary for children.
Okay, good questions. Are there things that we need to avoid in teaching vocabulary to students? Yes, there is. One of the most important things is that avoid using abstract things like this one. Wait, on the first slide. This one. Abstract, concrete, abstract. So avoid something that they cannot imagine. For example, you teach in one region. For example, for me, I was born in Kulon Progo. And say, for example, I teach students from Kulon Progo, and the discussion is vocabulary related to food, right? But suddenly I mention pizza. Yeah, they cannot imagine pizza because in Kulon Progo there is no pizza. They have growol. Yeah, they have. In Gunung Kidul they have, what is it called? Walang goreng. I don't mean that. What is it? Something? What is it? The yellow one? Bukan makanan khas Gunung Kidul. Tiwul. Tiwul. So something that they can imagine directly. Again, when they learn about animals, say something like chicken, butterfly, caterpillar would be necessary instead of saying dinosaur, for example, right? Yeah, it looks like something cute and amazing, but they cannot really see directly. So what we need to avoid is that something that is something that they cannot visualize, something that is abstract, so that they will feel difficult to even imagine what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna touch, for example. So more something that they can touch, that they can feel. Is that answering your question? Okay, thank you so much. And I think there are some more other questions. Yeah, okay.
Menurut peraturan gitu, at what grade should students start learning English vocabulary? Because I personally started learning English in grade 5. So do you think it's way too late or something?
I see, that's a good question actually. That is why we have a subject called teaching English to young learners, or for young learners, right? It means that actually we can, or people can start learning languages when they were kids. There is no limitation actually, but I suggest parents should be consistent. Say, for example, someone would like to learn language since they were kids, since they were baby, for example. But the problem is that the parents are not consistent. Orang tuanya nggak konsisten. Jadi pengen anak belajar bahasa Inggris, tapi karena orang tuanya belajar mengajak bicaranya pakai bahasa Indonesia, di sekolah pakai bahasa Inggris misalnya, akhirnya kadang-kadang anak bingung, gitu loh. Yang itulah membuat akhirnya apa? Speech delay, kan gitu. Tetapi kalau konsisten misalnya, seorang anak misalnya saya ya, anak saya kalau ketemu saya ngomongnya langsung bahasa Inggris misalnya gitu ya. Tapi kalau ketemu ibunya, langsung dengan bahasa Indonesia. Jadi dia tahu kapan harus switch gitu. Nah itu akan oke banget gitu. Jadi there is no limitation. I know someone since they were kids, they learn English. And it's completely fine gitu. Yang penting adalah drillingnya bagus. Jadi tidak terlambat. Malah justru semakin early semakin baik. Ya, semakin early semakin baik dan karena kan bahasa Inggris tabungan. Saya pernah dengar dari seseorang yang cukup senior dari saya. She said that bahasa Inggris itu sebenarnya adalah tabungan, seperti tabungan. Kita nabung dari sejak SD. Sehingga ketika kuliah, harusnya tabungan itu sudah cukup untuk kita berkomunikasi. But unfortunately, tidak semua orang aware hal itu. Mereka menganggap bahwa oh ya udah cuman bahasa aja kan gitu kan. Akhirnya tabungannya nggak cukup nih. Ternyata sampai kuliah diajak komunikasi bahasa Inggris masih belum cukup. Nah, itu. Jadi sebenarnya English is like saving, kayak tabungan. Nah, itu baru beberapa orang yang aware. Jadi kalau you learn from 5th grade, that will be great. Okay? Okay, anytime. Any other? Yeah.
What challenge do you face when teaching vocabulary to elementary school English?
Okay, interesting. The challenge that I face is usually the students' interest, because most of them, I used to do some research in one of the elementary schools, public elementary school in Jogja, and then the headmaster said that the biggest challenge, especially vocabulary, is that because they never use this in the daily activities. Jadi mereka nggak pernah pakai vocab itu di kehidupan sehari-hari, hanya berhenti di sekolah, terus udah di rumah nggak pernah dipakai, bahkan di luar kelas, ya kan di rumah ya, outside of the classroom, they never use it, just hilang gitu aja. So the biggest challenge is that how to make these vocabularies as a habit for them. That's the biggest challenge. So therefore, karena mereka cuma belajar di kelas, we as a teacher have some responsibilities to make them learn well. Karena kalau di kelas udah nggak belajar dengan sungguh-sungguh, ya sudah, itu hanya akan menjadi mata pelajaran formalitas saja, gitu ya. Oke, right. Now let's do some practice. Ada yang mau coba nggak? Praktekin tadi ada beberapa yang games misalnya. Ayolah, don't be shy. Okay, good. Good, come here. Yeah, what are you gonna use?
Okay. I'm going to use Simon Says.
Simon Says, okay. Could you please play it with your friends? Should they stand up or have a seat?
Just,
Okay, all right.
okay. Guys, today we will play games. The game is called Simon Says. Do you know Simon Says?
Oh,
Okay, listen to me. If I say Simon Says, you will follow the instruction. And if I don't say Simon Says, you must test it. Do you get it? Okay. Can you try? Simon Says, touch your brain.
That's good, that's good.
Touch your mouth. I'm going to use my Okay. Simon Says, touch your skirt. Okay. Simon Says, touch your shoulders. Simon Says, touch your foot.
Okay, good. Now probably we need to try with one student. Okay. Anyone, any volunteer would like to come here to play directly? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Boys, come here. Okay. You have to follow. Yeah.
Okay. Simon Says, close your eyes. Okay. Touch your watch. Okay.
So now you understand? Once again.
Okay. Touch your head. Okay, good. Touch your palm. Simon says, touch your toes. Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Have a seat, boys, girls. Give us to all of you, everyone. Yeah, so that is one of the games that you can actually implement in playing, vocabularies. In elementary school level, this would be really fun because they will sometimes confuse which one is my clothes, which one is my friend, right? And anything like that. And I think this is one of the best methods that you can use, especially in drilling vocabularies. You have to know that, once again, it's everything. Vocabularies is everything in learning the skills, right? Okay. Now, before we close the class, do you still have any question? No? Not yet? So what we have learned this meeting? How to teach vocabularies. Okay, why vocabularies is important? Because it's the primary, it's the foundation of the foundation of learning English. Exactly. Betul, exactly. Actually, it's not only English, but it's everything. It's all the languages. Misalnya Anda mau belajar bahasa Jawa besok ya kan tidak semuanya dari Jogja ya kan. And when you want to learn Arabic, vocabulary is really important, right? Nah, next week, what we're gonna discuss is that the extension of vocabularies. Jadi bagaimana vocab ini akan diimplementasikan ke dalam skills. How many English skills we have? Ada berapa skill bahasa Inggris yang kita punya? Ada 4. Yeah, there are 4. What are those? Speaking, writing, listening, reading. Yeah, okay, right. Next week, the discussion is about how to teach speaking. So when they have enough vocabularies, the next part is how to use that in a spoken English, right? So I do expect that you guys attend the class next week because we will have several practice in order to, understand more about speaking. All right? Yeah, all good? All clear? All right, thank you so much, everyone. So let's close our class today by saying Hamdallah together. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you.